Hello, and welcome to Cretus Academy. This webinar will explore the Cretus Polyurethane High Performance Product Line, or Poly HP. It will give you the information necessary to choose the perfect polyurethane coating for your needs, how to plan, prep, and apply the coating, as well as how to access this information on our website. We begin at Cretus.com. Under the Products dropdown, you will find a list of our poly-based products, or polys. From there, select Polyurethane. This will take you to the homepage for polyurethane. Here you will find links for the product guide, technical datasheet, polycolorant color chart, and general overview. A list of safety datasheets, the advantages wheel, kit sizes, and a smaller image of the color chart. A quick overview of polyurethane. Polyurethane is a two-component product consisting of Part A resins and Part B hardeners. It is 10 times stronger than epoxy. It is UV stable and can be applied to areas that receive direct sunlight. It is available in high performance, or HP, and high shine, or HS. For this video, we are going to focus on polyurethane HP. Starting with our kit sizes. There are two finishes available for Poly HP. HP Gloss and HP Satin. For HP Gloss, the mix ratio is 4:1. That's 4 parts of B to 1 part of A. The standard 1 1/4 gallon kit for HP Gloss is 1 quart of Part A to 1 gallon of Part B. For HP Satin, the mix ratio is 2:1. That's 2 parts of B to 1 part of A. The standard Satin kit is 1/2 gallon of A to 1 gallon of B. We also offer larger kit sizes up to 250 gallons. The ratio always remains the same. Taking a look at the product guide. Polyurethane HP and HS have the same product guide. They are both two-component systems recommended for high-traffic areas such as forklift loading zones, drive aprons, and commercial walkways. Poly HP in satin or gloss protects underlying systems against stains, chemical spills, and UV degradation at 5 mils thick. Poly HS has similar protective properties but can be applied up to 16 mils thick. Page 1 of the product guide has a list of system applications, such as UV stable decorative systems and protective top coats. It can be used in a wide range of projects, including industrial, commercial, and residential. Advantages including antimicrobial, hot tire, scratch, UV, chemical, and stain resistance, high traffic tolerance, easy to clean and maintain, and waterproofing. There are some detailed limitations and things to avoid during application, not letting material puddle on the floor. Adding polycolorant may reduce working time by 5 minutes. To counteract this, you can add solvent cleaner to dilute the mixture and extend the working time. Do not install polyurethane HP directly over moisture-sensitive concrete, broadcasted vinyl chip, 30 grit or larger quartz, 80 mesh or larger aluminum oxide. The finish for Poly HP, both gloss and satin, is clear when unpigmented. Texture is based on application. For custom orders, look under the Project Planning tab and select Special Order Form. This should be completed and submitted to your Jon-Don rep. Page 2 of the product guide has charts with information on how to select the correct polyurethane for your needs. For steps 1 and 2, pick products with the same 2 letters in the product name. Example: if you choose HP as Part B, select HP Gloss or HP Satin as Part A. Chart 1 lists our 2 polyurethanes. Choose based on the type of application required. Let's take a closer look at these 2 products and some specific reasons why you would choose one or the other. Polyurethane is an incredible and versatile coating. HP can be installed as a top coat in pharmaceutical facilities, commercial auto garages, high-traffic, high forklift areas, outdoor stadium facilities, water treatment plants, and so much more. It is Cretus' strongest aliphatic top coat. Polyurethane High Shine is best used for UV stable top coats and does really well protecting over metallics. There are officially 2 types of Poly HS, EZ and FC. It can be installed up to 16 mils thick, with EZ having the longest possible working time for a polyurethane, and FC having the shortest. For HP, we have a 3 to 5 mil high-performance top coat with a moisture vapor emission rate of 3 pounds and a relative humidity at 80%. Chart 2 is a list of our Part A hardeners. These are chosen based on temperature and humidity, timeline, and applicator skill level. Across the top of the chart are finish and skill level, recommended application temperature, mix ratio, and times for working, recoat, return to service, and full cure. For HP, we have two options, HP Gloss and HP Satin. They are both for mid to expert level installers at mid temperatures with higher relative humidity. Satin has a slightly shorter working time at 15 to 20 minutes, and a slightly longer full cure time at 7 days. Poly HP Gloss also has a higher chemical resistance than Satin. Taking a look at the Poly color chart. The first page has labeled color cards with all the color options we offer for polyurethane. These colors are available in 16-ounce and 1-gallon color packs. We have the same color options for epoxy, polyaspartic, and polyurethane. However, the polys are not available in pre-pigmented buckets, unless specially ordered through Jon-Don. The second page contains the general mixing guide, which has information on mixing application and mixing ratio, as well as tips on ensuring uniform color. Taking a look at the mixing ratio chart for Poly HP, across the top we have product, kit size, colorant, and mix ratio of Part A, Part B, and colorant. For polyurethane HP Gloss, there are 3 kit sizes listed. For the 1 1/4 gallon kit, we use 16 ounces of colorant, and the mix ratio is 1 quart of A, 1 gallon of B, and 16 ounces of colorant. For Poly HP Satin, the 1 1/2 gallon kit will also use 16 ounces of colorant, with a mix ratio of 1/2 gallon of A, 1 gallon of B, and 16 ounces of colorant. Remember that adding colorant will reduce your working time by 5 minutes. There are also instructions for mixing application. Pre-measure components before combining. Add colorant to Part A and mix for 1 to 2 minutes or until color is uniform. Add Part B and mix for 1 to 2 minutes, for a total mixing time of 3 minutes. There is also information on ensuring uniform color. Checking batch numbers is the best way to ensure uniform color. Near the bottom of the white label on the colorant pack, you will find the batch number. Products that have the same batch number are from the same mixture or batch. It is best to use products with matching batch numbers because gloss or color can vary from batch to batch, and the difference may not be visible until the product hardens. Next, we take a look at the general overview. The general overview will explain how to install the different types of applications available with polyurethane. The applications within this document are intended for more experienced installers and troubleshooting. New and beginner installers should be using the system application directions and not the general overview. Page 1 of the general overview is the same for Poly HP and HS. It contains the mixing guide and mixing instructions for polyurethane, as well as information for on-site application testing, surface preparation, safety, and cleanup. The mixing guide reminds you to review mix ratios and the Cretus Mixing Station Guide, which can be found at Cretus.com under the Project Planning tab for information on general handling, storage, and preparation procedures. Careful measurements and thorough mixing are essential for a proper cure. Observe all mixing procedures and guidelines to assure a controlled and thorough chemical transition to a high-strength solid. It also lists the low RPM, low-torque drill and Jiffler double-bladed mixer you'll need. The mixing instructions give a detailed timeline for mixing polyurethane. Mix polyurethane parts A and B only if product names match, HP with HP, HS with HS. Mix part A and B for 2 minutes. If adding fumed silica or matting additive, mix part A and additive for 2 to 5 minutes. Add part B and mix for 2 minutes. If adding metallic pigment, add to part A and mix for 2 to 5 minutes. Allow color to set for 20 minutes to 24 hours before combining with part B. Add part B and mix for 1 to 2 minutes. If adding polycolorant, mix part A and additive for 2 to 5 minutes. Add part B and mix for 2 minutes. If adding Cretus solvent cleaner, quartz, or anti-slip texture, mix part A and part B for 2 minutes. Add additive and mix for 1 minute. On-site application testing and surface preparation. To ensure desired results are achieved, Cretus highly recommends that the system be tested in a small area on-site. Test and look for any unknown site conditions and/or defects. For testing requirements, review Cretus pre- and post-job checklists. They can be found under the Project Planning tab on the homepage. Before installing any Cretus product, the substrate, or slab, must be clean. profiled by mechanically preparing the surface between CSP 1 and 3, and sound, by treating all termination and transition joints, pits, and random cracks. Joints and cracks may need to be expanded before treatment. Pages 2 and 3 of the general overview have detailed charts with the applications available for polyurethane. Across the top of the charts are applications in alphabetical order, product, standard kit mix ratio, methods and tools used, and coverage rate. These charts are for both Poly HP and HS. Looking at the applications for Poly HP, both gloss and satin, we have top coat from 3 to 5 mils, applied with a flat, flexible, or flat rigid squeegee and a 3/8 inch non-shed nap roller. Notice that the coverage rate per kit is different for HP gloss and HP satin. Top coat with anti-slip texture. You'll notice we have multiple HP applications, all including a third component, anti-slip, either aluminum oxide 60, 80, 120, or 220, bead 50 or 100, glass 70, or Tex 50, which is a combination of bead 50 and aluminum oxide 220. The different mix ratios are listed, and they can all be applied by either a 3 to 5 or 5 to 7 mil blade and a 3/8 inch non-shed nap roller, or the dip and roll method with just the 3/8 inch non-shed nap roller. Page 4 of the general overview is a chart listing our aggregates and additives. Across the top of the chart are product, their use, coverage rate, and mix ratio. Additives like ESD, matting additive, fumed silica, solvent cleaner, polycolorant, and anti-slip. Aggregates like XF, F, and Q-grade quartz or industrial sand, and vinyl chips. Taking a look at the technical datasheets, or TDSs, for Poly HP. They can be found through a link on the homepage for polyurethane. There is a separate TDS for Poly HP Gloss and HP Satin. Selecting Polyurethane HP Gloss. The technical datasheet for Poly HP Gloss is a 5-page document with more detailed information about the technical properties of the product. Page 1 and 2 list things like advantages, such as UV resistance, low maintenance, low odor, high chemical and impact resistance. Suggested uses and applications are high chemical and UV resistant top coat in commercial, industrial, and residential projects. There is a list of compatible Cretus systems, such as Color Chip, Color Quartz, Color Splash, Epoxy MVR, ESD, Industrial Sand, Top Shelf Metallic, and Waterproof Decking. The finish for Poly HP Gloss is high gloss when applied clear, or opaque when pigmented. Some precautions and limitations. A prime coat may be required if stem walls are highly absorbent, if outgassing is suspected, or if the concrete is very porous or in poor condition. All concrete repairs must be completed before installing any system. At lower or dropping temperatures, material cures more slowly. It also becomes more viscous and will require more effort to install. Higher or increasing temperatures will reduce working times and material will cure more quickly. Application times are based on test results compiled by lab technicians in a controlled setting. All times are recorded using 1-quart samples. If application temperatures are outside of those recommended, contact your Cretus technical representative. Apply material when temperature is decreasing. Adhere to the Cretus dew point calculation chart available at cretus.com/project planning. Do not apply under direct sunlight. Do not install under inclement weather conditions. It also lists the components for a standard and bulk kit, has information on safety, testing, and warranty. Consider safety conditions and wear PPE when installing. Test and look for any unknown site conditions or defects in a small area on site before installation. For the warranty to be upheld, pre- and post-job checklists must be completed. There is information on storage and application temperatures. The ideal storage environment is dry, out of direct sunlight, between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The minimum substrate temperature during application is 5 degrees above dew point. There is a chart with average application times specific to ambient temperatures. For example, if the ambient temperature at the time of application is 70 degrees Fahrenheit with 50% relative humidity, the working time will be 20 minutes. Recoat at 3 to 6 hours, return to service or foot traffic is about 12 hours, and full cure or forklift traffic at 5 days. You'll notice that regardless of the application temperature, the full cure is always 5 days. Finally, there is a reminder about surface preparation. Before installing any coating, the substrate must be sound. All necessary repairs completed, clean, dry, and free of any contaminants, moisture, materials, or particles that may hinder adhesion to the substrate. Page 3 has information on mixing and application for polyurethane HP gloss, with the standard kit mix ratio, measurements, and mixing instructions for optional texture and anti-slip additives. It lists the low RPM, low torque drill with Jiffler double-bladed mixer that you'll need. Regardless of the additive, you always mix it into Part A until color and consistency are uniform. Then add Part B and mix for 2 minutes. There is also coverage rates per standard kit. Since Poly HP gloss is only used as a top coat, with or without texture, it is applied at 3 to 5 mils and will yield 675 to 725 square feet per kit of coverage. Pre-measure components to make sure you are using the correct mix ratio. Continue mixing until the coating's consistency is uniform. Keep a wet edge while applying the product. Wear spiked shoes when walking on material. At the bottom of page 3 and top of page 4, there is a chart listing some of the specific numeric values achieved by the coating when fully cured, as well as the testing methods used to determine them. Page 4 also has a list of chemicals the coating might encounter. Each is assigned a number between 1 and 3 based on how well the coating will hold up to direct contact, 1 being best for chemical resistance, 2 is a low potential for stain, 3 is a high potential for stain or degradation, and NR is not recommended. Consult your client to find out any chemicals that might come in contact with the floor. If you don't see it on this list, contact your Cretus technical representative. The final set of documents we will examine is the Safety Data Sheets, or SDSs. The Safety Data Sheets are located on the Polyurethane homepage. There are separate SDSs for Poly HS Part A and B, Poly HP Part A and B, as well as Polycolorant. Selecting Poly HP Part A, we are taken to the 5-page SDS for Polyurethane Part A for both satin and gloss. There are 16 numbered sections. For example, Section 2 has information on hazard identification with GHS category classifications, as well as GHS hazard and precautionary statements. Section 7 is handling and storage. Remember to wear disposable gloves, eye protection, and respirators while installing. Make sure there is proper ventilation. Store between 40 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit and away from sources of heat, ignition, and direct sunlight. Make sure to carefully review all of the information on handling and storage. Section 13 has disposal considerations, and Section 14 has transportation information. As you can see, Poly HP Part A has no transportation regulations. Section 15 has other regulatory information, including OSHA, RCRA, and SARA. Please take time to read and understand the safety data sheets for each product as they are all different. Let's review some benefits and limitations of Poly HP. Looking at the benefits first, we have a high-solid, high-performance coating that is 10 times stronger than epoxy and provides excellent chemical resistance. It is also UV stable, waterproof, and scratch-resistant, which is why it works so well as a top coat with very little upkeep. Some limitations are not applying HP directly on bare concrete as a coating. Poly HP is a thin mill application and not a high-build system. The product can be overworked, which can cause microbubbles, and it is a little more difficult to apply. But when it is applied correctly, you will have virtually an indestructible and long-lasting floor. Thank you for your interest in Cretus Polyurethane HP and the rest of our thoughtfully designed concrete coatings.